Going over these bell ringer questions is not just, hey, I'm going to waste your time. It's these are things that you need to learn. Mr. Kenny's wasting our time. Funny. No, I'm trying to help you learn. Wasting your time would be making you sit here do nothing. Right? Your education matters. And it's time that some of us start to believe that. So, here's an option. The first one, 2a equals pi r squared times 2. What do y'all think? Is that an equivalent equation? Yes? Okay. Why is it equivalent?
Because you did it to both sides.
What was done to both sides? Multiplication by 2. So it's that multiplication property of equality, right? That's going to create an equivalent equation, so we're good. What about the second one? Yeah? What's up?
That's 9 to both sides.
It's adding 9 to both sides, right? That's the addition property of equality, okay? What about a divided by pi equals r squared?
Yes, it's correct.
Why is it correct?
Because I got that.
Because that's what you did?
Yeah.
Okay, can anyone explain to me how? Because I don't necessarily see that you did something to both sides. What did you do? What'd you do?
No, that's not how it originally is.
Yeah, but is a divided by pi equals r squared? What do you think, Ireland? Do you think that's equivalent? Okay, why do you think it's equivalent? So, okay, it is dividing. Let's remember, this is where we started. What do you mean it's dividing? What are you dividing by? Dividing by pi? So I only see it being divided by pi over here.
No, I did it to the other side too.
How do we know she did it to the other side as well?
Because it canceled out.
Notice we divide by pi over here. What's pi divided by pi? 1. Right? See how there's just one r squared right here? But we're left with a divided by pi? So is that equivalent? Yes? Okay. See, quite a few answers. Ooh, I like this one as being different. Let's look at that. Okay? A equals r squared pi. That's what we started with, pi r squared. Are these two equations equivalent?
Yes.
Yes? Bashar, do you know why those two are equivalent?
Because I really don't know.
Okay, so there's a really important term here that we need to know. Let's pay attention to this. Gabe, do you know why these two are equivalent? Okay, so we might need to pay attention just to learn from it. Say it again. Commutative, right? You see how is pi r squared? Now it's just r squared times pi. Is that still the same thing though? Yeah, they commuted, they changed positions, right? But is it telling the same story? Yes. Okay. Now I do want to look at this one. All right. A equals 2 pi r. Is that the same thing as pi r squared?
No, it is. Wait, no.
Do we see how that would not be? It's not the same, right? 2 pi r is different than pi r squared. Ari, are you paying attention? Huh? I asked if you were paying attention.
I can hear.
But you're looking way over there.
I can still hear. I can listen.
I don't understand why you're giving me attitude when I'm trying to help you learn. You are. Please pay attention. Focus. Okay? So 2 pi r, that would not quite be the same thing as pi r squared. Is it okay that that's a mistake? Yes.
Yeah.
Learn from your mistakes. Grow from them. Mistakes are awesome. We want to learn from them so that we get better before the test. But do notice, like, it's not a commutative property. That's not a property of equality. That is not equivalent. Okay? And it looks to me here like someone just substituted a 3 in for r. Is that equivalent?
No.
Are we told that r is equal to 3?
Yep.
No. So you can't just put the 3 in for r, right? If the radius was in fact 3, that would be perfectly acceptable. but notice it's not going to be equivalent, right? That's not going to give us the same story every single time. It's not the same equation, just looking different. We ready to move forward? Okay. Okay, so this next one's important. We haven't done a ton of practice with actual solving of equations, so I wanted to do some practice. I got a bunch of different answers. I got -9 for 8, 11. I got a +9 here. I got an equivalent equation that's close, and I got another -9 here. So 12 of us are thinking -9.
Me.
You're one of those, Kelsey? A few of us are also that -9?
Yeah.
Okay? For the rest of us who are looking at 11s, 10s, 117, it probably means we made a mistake somewhere, so let's all pay attention to how we could go about solving this. So -2x plus 4 is equal to 22. How would I go about solving this equation first? Same people raising their hand is normal. Okay, Kelsey, I'll start with you.
Undo the last thing being done to x.
Okay, so what's the last thing being done to this x right here?
Multiply.
4.
So be careful, Terrence. That's a good try, but notice, you see how the multiplication is actually the very first thing happening?
Yeah. The last thing is 4.
That plus 4.
Mhm.
We good with that idea? So what do we need to do to undo that plus 4, Matthew?
Minus.
To a negative, or substitute to a negative.
So subtract by how much?
4.
4. Notice, and this is, I know that we spent a ton of time on this idea of equivalent equations, but this is why it's important. Notice, and it's, don't just slash through it. I see a lot of students just slash through those things. It's not just canceling out. What is 4 minus 4?
0.
0. That's the whole point, because now I have -2x plus 0, which is just -2x. If I don't subtract 4 from the right-hand side, are these equations equivalent?
No.
No. Would these equations have the same solution?
No.
No. That's why it's important to understand the idea of equivalency and equivalent equations. I got to subtract 4 over here. And what is 22 minus 4? 18. Hey, that's what this student right here said. They didn't quite finish it out, right? I think they may have just thought I was just asking for an equivalent equation, but as I'm asking you to solve, have you actually found what x is yet?
No.
No? What's my last step to solve for x?
Divide by -2.
Notice what is -2 divided by -2?
That's 1.
Notice just the -2 divided by -2 is 1. And what's 1 times x?
X.
Just 1x, right? And then 18 divided by -2?
-9.
-9. What do we know about this last equation and this first equation?
They're equivalent.
They're equivalent. That means that they look different, but what? They are the same, so they have the same solution. Remember that, right? The whole point is that we are creating an easier equation that is equivalent to identify the solution. Very quickly, I know that my solution is what?
-9.
-9. Now, this is another important idea that we need to recognize. How can I prove or verify that that -9 is the solution to the equation?
You can substitute x for -9.
Substitute -9 for x, okay? So I'm going to substitute -9 for x. But what's the purpose of that? What am I doing? Right? I'm not just going to,
Trying to find the truth.
huh?
Trying to find if the truth.
Try to find if it's true, right? I need y'all to remember and always go back to that fundamental idea. If it's a solution, it's going to make the equation true. Right? Go back to that. Anytime I ask, is this thing a solution? Hey, does it make the mathematical statement true? That's it. Well, what's -2 times -9?
18.
18. What's 18 plus 4?
22.
22.
I said 22.
Is that a true statement?
Yes.
So is -9 a solution?
I said 22. I birthed it. It sounded like 4.
Oh. Oh. Okay? So we've got to remember that idea. That is one of the most core ideas in this unit is what is a solution, right? And how do I solve an equation? Ready to move forward?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay.
No.
Too bad, it's time. So,
He plays with that much.
here is our agenda, okay? I'm going to talk about a couple of changes that I'm going to make to class. Brandon, just hand it to her. Just get up out of your desk. You're already out of your desk. No. Alright, so I'm going to talk about a couple of changes, okay? So please remember, for me, when it comes to your learning, it is more important to me that you learn it eventually rather than learn it when I first expect it, right? Because one of my fundamental ideas, right, not just fundamental idea for the unit, but the most fundamental thing to me is that a growth mindset matters, right? So that means, Kelsey's upset about it, but she started to develop a growth mindset last year. It is the mentality, right? It doesn't matter where we are, it matters where we are going and where we end up. It matters how much effort we put in, because even if you feel like you aren't good at math right now, if you put in the effort, especially in my class, you can improve and get better. Like you did. That's exactly right. So, I mean, you say you're just kidding, but like last year you started out, not to out you, but I think somewhere around C's and you ended up with A's. And that wasn't like just overnight, it was hard work that you put in throughout the year, learning, growing, and adapting, right? Okay, so, and like that to me is a way bigger deal than someone starting out at A's and staying with A's, right? You worked hard and you improved, okay?
Okay.
So, but my thing is, if I'm going to expect you to grow and change, I've got to grow and change as well. I gave a test last week to my Algebra 2 Stats class, and there's a couple things I'm going to adjust moving forward based on the things I saw there. I'm going to talk about a couple of details from the quiz. I haven't given the quiz back in here, have I?
No, let's see.
You said you was today or something.
Yeah, you said you were gonna do it today.
Yeah. I think I'm still missing a couple of people. I will need to collect the quiz back, because I don't think I ever made scans of the quiz, and I need to do that. Okay? So, I will pass them out in a minute. Let me go ahead and get them out. I also have some homework to return. Here's the quiz. Alright, if you did not take the quiz, please hear me very clearly on this. If you have not taken the quiz, that means that you'll have a 0 in the grade book for now, because I'm already passing it back. It doesn't matter to me when you learn it, it matters that you learn it. If you, or when you take the test, whatever you make on the test for these skills, hey Terrence, you paying attention? Okay, put the top back on it, pay attention. When you take the test, I will replace your quiz grade of a 0 with whatever you make on the test. Right? Because that means you've learned it, I don't want to just put a 0 in. We all good with that idea?
Sure, I guess.
No. We're actually going to have a short quiz tomorrow, test Monday. I wanted to test on Friday. Huh? Okay. I was going to test Friday. I just don't have quite enough time to wrap up and do the review that I want to do. And so we're going to test first thing on Monday and then start math literacy on Monday.
Ew.
I know. We have to. Don't worry about it. We'll get there.
I never heard of math literacy in my life.
It's not complicated. It's just not the most
I
fun
thought
thing.
literacy was a reading.
Literacy is your ability to read, but math literacy is really graphical literacy, so it's your ability to read graphs.
So we finna read.
We gotta do it every year, bro.
No, graphs, dude. Graphs, like bar charts and scatter plots and line graphs, yes, and pie charts. We'll have to do that. Yeah, we're gonna do it. Okay. So, we're going to do the few details from the quiz, and then we're going to recap Lesson 8, move into Lesson 9, and have 15 minutes or so to ask questions about homework. I had one student over the weekend reach out and say, hey, Mr. Kinney, can I get help with this question? I did ask. I wasn't sure which one they were talking about. It was not you, Terrence. And they said, can I get some help with this? And so I had them take a picture and email me what they're referring to, and I gave a little bit of feedback. I didn't give a ton. And I said, hey, look. If you still have questions, let me know on Monday, and we'll go over what your questions are.
Yeah, in this
But-
class.
Are you in this class?
Huh?
Are you in this class?
Yes. Why else would I be going over the geometry homework if it wasn't in this
I
class?
feel like I know it.
What
Okay?
is it?
So,
Did you win?
Hey Terrence, stop. You're way off base. Okay? The reason why I'm bringing this up is this is a great way for you to get better at doing homework is, okay, watch the videos. If videos don't help, email me. If the email doesn't help, let me know and I'll come in and I'll be more than happy to help you. But you have to do it before the homework is due, right? They took the initiative to use the homework or use the weekend to work on the homework so they knew what questions they had to ask, and I'm more than happy to help you then. Does that make sense? You gotta take that initiative though. Okay. So changes, couple of quick things. I need to do a better balance between focusing on tasks in class and getting you to learn the concepts at play, because I feel like a lot of us understand the properties of equality and we can recognize them. I feel like the majority of us are getting comfortable with creating equivalent equations, but we need a little bit more practice with that, okay? So I'm going to try to build a little bit more practice in class, but I'm also going to try to include a couple more homework problems. I think in total, over 3 to 4 weeks, we've had all of 8 homework questions, so that's not very many at all. I'm still only going to make homework due on Monday or Thursday, but what I'm going to do is, instead of 1 question of each type, I'll probably make 2 or 3 of each type, so that if you're struggling with that question at first, then you can come in and ask a question, and then we can go over it, and then you can go home and practice it some more on your own, okay? Because you need to learn the why behind everything, but then you also need to practice that skill as well. Does that make sense? Any questions about that? Okay, so it's not going to be a ton more homework, but it's one of those things that your homework matters. I need you to do it. All right, from there, every single day, we're going to have an active participation or collaboration grade. What that means is you need to be actively participating in whole class discussions within your small group to help each other grow and learn. As long as you are not asleep or distracting other students, you're looking at a 5 out of 5. Well, as long as you're not asleep, distracting other students, and you are working the whole time, you're looking at a 5 out of 5 grade every single day. It's that simple. I write down the scores at the end of the day based on what I saw students doing. If I have to ask you to wake up, or I see that you're asleep, you're losing points. Okay? Every time that you're asleep, it's an issue. If you're asleep the majority of the class, it's a 0 out of 5. Okay? So you got to keep your head up, paying attention. Anton, Tyson, Kaylin, Amari, I need y'all paying attention. We have an active participation grade every single day. Okay? So you got to stay awake. It is hard to learn when you're out cold. You got to pay attention. We good? Okay. So that active participation grade, that is 5 points every day. It's easy money, right? If it's a 5-day week, that's 25 points just by you actively working in the group. Notice, can you sit there silently and earn a 5 out of 5?
Yes.
No, but not.
No. It is active participation, active collaboration, okay? If you are working the whole time, all right, but you're not collaborating and helping your peers, you're only going to look at a 3.5 or a 4 out of 5, okay? You have to actually participate with the group, okay? So a 5 out of 5 means that you are working and you are collaborating, working with your group to help everyone learn better. We clear on those guidelines? This weekend I will send out a new newsletter to parents, which is why I've been very actively trying to reach out to parents recently, so they're aware that that new newsletter is coming. I will send that newsletter to you as well with more details about the active collaboration. We all good?
What's a newsletter?
It's a PDF that I'm sending. A newsletter is just literally a letter about news, but I send out a PDF with information once a month to help you know what's going on and to help your parents know what's going on.
But you said not saying email that it's email.
It's a great question.
Because
We'll figure it out. Okay. And then let's talk about the quiz quickly. All right. Just a heads up. I have someone who has a 0 because there's no name on it. So if you took the quiz and you didn't give me it, or I don't give it back to you. That's why. Tarian, Alana,
Just,
You want a piece?
no, I don't. I think that's it.
Brooke, Matthew, Bashar,
That was before you took my last name.
Jalen, Gabe, Jeremy, Claire, Lavicia, Michaela,
Okay, well, that was good, man.
Ari, Austin, and Kelsey, Kaylin, Terrence,
I feel.
The whole thing. Hey.
Amari,
Wait.
Zaria,
How much does it
Anton.
work?
Oh my God.
Josh, Rose, did you take it? If you didn't, put your name on here. And your name was on the sheet. Alright.
I was tired when I got that test.
What you make?
So which point is number 4?
Alright, there's a couple of people in here, I believe, who did not get a quiz back because they never took it. Does that sound about right? Hey, who did not get a copy of the quiz back because they never took it?
What's that?
Terrence, I literally gave it back to you. Amari, did I give you a copy of the quiz? Yes? Brandon, that's who it was. Huh?
Yeah, I did.
Anybody else not get a copy back? Or you were alright? The two.
I had a negative.
Rose, is this you?
Look at that negative.
Huh? I have a copy of it for you. That's yours? Okay. Alright, hey, attention up here, okay? Couple of quick things. This is your quiz to take notes on because you can use this quiz to help you study for upcoming tests. So I would get a pencil out. I've given you some feedback on there already. I scored it and it's based on the scores that I know what I need to talk about, okay? So take some notes on this quickly. Numbers 1 and 2, okay? What do we mean by statistical?
If it have variability.
Variability in what?
Solution.
Not solution, not in the equation.
The feedback.
In the response.
Thank you. Variability in the response. When it is a non-statistical question,
No variability.
Okay, how do you respond?
okay? So, there's a few different ways we can get there. How old is Hillcrest High School?
Older than you.
It's a lot. Okay, but really quickly,
19th century.
I have no clue how old it is, but is that question going to have, is it non-statistical or is it statistical? Non-statistical. There is no variability in that response. I don't know what the answer is, but there's only one response to that, correct?
True.
Okay, but what if I were to ask, what is the average age of buildings in Tuscaloosa County school system?
Statistical.
Would each building have a different age?
Yeah.
Yes, right? So there is variability in those responses. Notice if there's only one possible response, it's non-statistical. And so you need to be careful when you ask the question, what is your favorite color? I had a lot of people do something like this. Hey Kelsey, ask me what my favorite color is.
What's your favorite color?
It is navy blue.
I knew
That is blue.
Okay, hold
Out of
on.
all the colors.
Hold on.
Navy
Stop
blue.
talking and listen.
I thought it was that color up there.
No, I do like that one
That's
too
what you were
though.
arguing.
It's another blue. It's a blue-green, which green's my second favorite. But here's the thing. How many responses did I have?
2.
One.
I only had one.
Yeah.
Navy blue is a type of color, correct?
True.
If you ever ask the question, what is your favorite color? What is your blank? There's only going to be one response. That question is getting to this of what is the favorite
Kid.
color of students at Hillcrest High School?
That's categorical.
It is categorical, good. So when I look at that question, in order to answer this question, what am I going to have to do?
Find out all the students' favorite color.
I'm going to have to ask every student or a whole bunch of students their favorite color, correct?
Sure.
Will each student have a different response?
Some of them will have the same.
Mine has the same.
Some of them, but will there be variability in responses?
Yeah.
Yes. You will not get the same color for every student.
Mine black.
Cool. But notice the difference. This is what we talked about as a survey question, right? The survey question itself will only have one response. The survey question, when you ask someone, there is only going to be the one response for that person. But we're trying to answer this question, which will have variability in response. We go with that idea? Make sure you have those notes down. Yep.
Oh, yeah.
What is the other part of these questions?
Categorical.
Are you taking notes because you made perfect scores? Guys, if you're not looking at 5s and 6s, you should be writing these notes down.
Yeah.
I didn't justify.
Shut up, Cassie. You had all perfect. I don't think you had both of them perfect, did you?
I don't know.
Guys and Anton, come on. You cannot be this tired. You had a 4-day weekend.
Slum bear.
So you should be well rested. Alright, what was the other part of these questions besides whether it was statistical or non-statistical?
Numerical or categorical?
Categorical or what?
Numerical.
Or numerical. I need y'all to remember this because I had a lot of students who got this wrong because they said, hey, there's a number involved, so it's categorical. Okay? So, how many students like the color blue? Sure, let's go with that.
Me did.
Okay, stop talking and listen. Okay? Listen, stop. This question starts out with how many, correct? Okay? When you go up to a student, though, and you ask them, what are you going to ask them?
Do you like the
color? What's the favorite?
You could ask them, what is your favorite color? Or you could ask them, do you like the color blue? Either way, are they going to respond with a number?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Do you like the color blue?
So if I ask you, do you like color blue?
Do
You
you
gonna
like
say
color
6?
blue?
Yes.
Seven.
Yes. Is that a number?
7.
Oh, that you meant.
There we go. That's what I need you to understand, right? It is about the response. Just like there was variability or no variability in the response, how do they respond to the question? Do you like the color blue? Yes. That's a category. Okay? What is your favorite color? Red. That's a category, right? So, you've got to remember that it's all about the response. And that is a huge detail that I saw show up, or an issue that I saw show up time and time again.
So you can't just write your answer and you got it wrong.
Nope. Remember, you can earn higher on the test. And on the test, if you do better, then I will replace your quiz grade. I don't care when you learn it, I care that you learn it. So write down notes to yourself. Learn from your mistakes.
How about the short one or the one on Monday?
The one on Monday. Alright? Time to move forward. We actually already did number 3 as a bell ringer the other day. What is the first thing we needed to remember with this problem?
Oh,
Parentheses.
What about the parentheses?
distribute properly.
Thank you.
Go first.
There you go, Terrence.
Smart cuz.
I know you're smart. That's why I was frustrated that you were distracting people rather than trying in class. I know you're very capable. Okay? So 3x to the 5th plus 8x cubed minus 7x squared, and then what's going to be here? Minus a negative.
What?
If I distribute this minus to the negative 6x cubed,
Minus. You
it's
gotta
going to be a
play.
positive.
Yeah.
Now this is where I'm going to leave it, but I want to remind you, what do you need to add and subtract together?
Oh, can I do it?
Sure, go for it.
3x. Good. Pop.
No. Like terms.
I know you hear me call.
Oh,
You didn't let me
so yeah,
finish,
Terrence,
man.
does that 3x to the 5th go with anything else?
No, you bring it down.
So I'm asking the question, what am I going to add together?
Oh, 8x cubed and 6x cubed.
Okay. Right? I'm only going to add together those like terms because remember, this is x to the 5th how many times?
5. Oh. 3.
3 times. Then I'm adding x cubed how many times?
8.
8 times. And then I'm subtracting x squared 7 times.
Some.
And then adding x cubed 6 times.
Yeah.
I can only add my x cubes together. Okay? I am not going to go through all of number 4. What is the key word for number 4?
Solutions.
Solutions.
All that applies.
As soon as you see that word, what are you asking yourself?
Is it true?
Are they equivalent?
No?
Does it make it true?
Please hear me very clearly on this. Equivalent equations and equivalent inequalities have the same solutions, but what is a solution? It's a value.
Not
That
an
what?
answer.
That makes it true.
It's a value or values that make the statement true. Okay? I am. That is value or values that make the mathematical statement true. I'm glad you find it so funny, Kelsey. Focus. Okay? Please pay attention to that, right? We have value or values that make the mathematical statement true. That's exactly what I'm asking for in number 5.
True.
What does it mean to be a solution? Oh, it makes the mathematical statements true. Okay?
I literally wrote that.
Good.
And you gave me 5.5.
Ain't that good?
That's good. Where?
I didn't wrote that and I got a negative 1.
I wrote.
We can split.
I don't know what's wrong.
You talking about that? I
Does
got
it
a
make
negative
the
1.
statement true equals solution? I didn't know what you meant by that at the end. Really, because that's not mathematically accurate, it should be a 5. Okay?
Oh, yeah.
But just they make those points are solutions
You know.
Are
because